Hey there friends and viewers, Hengest here. Welcome back to another Heroes of the Storm video. Today we're going to be playing in the Dragonshire map closed beta test. And I'm going to be showcasing some Illidan play. Looks like Master Skin Uther there, Mr. Tough Guy Pearshield wants to lane with me. I'm going to be using the Shando Illidan skin, kind of the alternate reality Illidan. Should he have chosen to follow Malfurion in his apprenticeship under Cenarius. Pretty dope. My favorite skin in the game, probably. Anyways, I am actually going to be laning with MF Palatine onto Ronda today. I wanted to show us some Illidan play. I finally got back into him. You know, I played him a lot in early Tech Alpha, and then he kind of sucked for a while. And now he's kind of broken. Still kind of my favorite hero in the game. I just love the story of Illidan. So we're going to be showcasing some of that here. Nice little 2v2 here we find ourselves in. 20 seconds into the game, already in a 2v2. Rhaegar and Diablo versus Tyrande and Illidan. Pretty even matchup. I'd say favors slightly in our corner if the Tyrande can manage to land those stuns. However, MF Palatine was uploading during this video, so he's going to be missing some skill shots due to latency primarily. But I'm managing to sponge a fair amount of this minion and Diablo damage using my evasion cooldown properly. Illidan basically takes 0 damage for 2 seconds at a variable cooldown depending on how often you are auto-attacking. He does have that built-in battle momentum to consider, which reduces his cooldowns on all the abilities depending on how much he attacks. There we had a kind of an even trade, more in our favor though, because we did get the first blood and managed to sap up some of that tower ammo. Not to mention the EXP that the enemy team is losing at this point in time with Palatine now solo laning the top lane. Shrines have gone up. Rurikon and Pearshield in the bot lane, going to be doing the best to cap theirs, while Shaq holds down the fort in the mid lane. I forgot to mention that this game was played during the Squadron Livestream, a weekly live stream. Every Wednesday at 3 p.m. PST, we get online, we play as a group, kind of our unofficial or official practice session. We do play some community games as well. Lots of fun. If you guys want to find out more about when I'm live streaming, then be sure to follow my social media outlets, primarily Facebook and Twitter. You can find the links in the video description. There you saw me go down. Was not a favorable exchange there for us at all. Palatine did not have Moonwell cooldown, therefore he was out of mana. And once again, missing a couple stuns, leaving me to 1v2. I got smoked back there pretty hard, so pretty dangerous situation. The enemy team, who is confusingly marked as green or blue, has an opportunity here to get the Dragon Knight right here. This Death Star player, though, doesn't want to give up a kill. If only Shaq could land that Raynor Q, would have easily gotten that Azmodan Q, kill, rather. But we did manage to neutralize the top lane, so not so much of a danger zone anymore. We are, however, going to have to face off another 2v2 here, and hopefully not die again. Diablo's doing a good job of knocking me into the wall. Palatine making sure that this shrine is not capped by the enemy team while I kind of have my way with the enemy Rhaegar. Rhaegar pretty easily able to escape with his instant cast, mount speed, not to mention the excellent peels here from this Diablo player. I remember complimenting this Diablo player so many times because his positioning has been rock solid all game. The Shadow Charge is not working very effectively. It's kind of buggy as it is, but he's still making it work. HP getting dangerously low right there. Illidan does have some built-in lifesteal mechanics in addition to his battle momentum mechanics. He's like the ultimate auto-attack hero. So one thing I like to do a lot on Illidan, if I'm low on HP, I don't have first aid off cooldown or something, I will just go straight for the caster minion who drops the regen globe. Any little bit amount of HP regen you can get, even if it is only a regen globe, is going to help you. Plus you must factor in, of course, the amount of lifesteal you're getting just from auto-attacking those minions as well. Illidan's a very high skill cap hero. I would even consider him the highest skill cap hero. Not so much like you need a whole lot of cognitive skills, you know, not a whole lot of skill shotting. It's more of just experience that you need to play him properly. I would say Illidan players must be wise players, cannot overcommit on too many plays if you want to deal damage effectively. So this has been a very strong push for us in the mid lane. Captain Shaq piloting the Dragon Knight here, getting lasered down a little bit there by the Azmodan player, but nice hero Hammer of Justice interrupts the Asmodan and secures his death as well, leaving me to basically free roam and auto-attack the enemy heroes. Never a situation you want to be in, trying to defend a push against Illidan Stormrage, one of the highest single-point damage targets in this game, if not the most. I haven't mapped it out, man. We don't got no LUA script in Heroes of the Storm. I can't tell how much damage I'm doing per second compared to Jim Raynor. You know, it's just kind of eyeballing it, but Illidan definitely a very high damage target. Make him a priority when he's on the enemy team. Focus him down. Let's take a look at our build really quickly. What we have so far on Illidan Stormrage. It looks like I've taken Immolation and First Aid after the Seasoned Marksman talent we took at level 1. So, very textbook Illidan build. Not a whole lot of differentiation you can make, but I would say once you get that First Aid, you get your damage up just a tad, attack speed up a tad. Attack speed effectively decreases cooldowns on your evasion ability, which allows you to evasion tank even bruiser camps at this level. Illidan Stormrage, such an excellent jungler. I hesitate to use that word, but he's so good at soloing merc camps in Heroes of the Storm in its current build. I just love playing as Illidan, man. So much fun, so high speed, and really interesting to watch, I think. One of my favorites in the live streams for sure is the Illidan play because so much nail biting, you know, adrenaline, excitement. I love it. So here my spider sense is tingling. I ping my team like they gotta be getting these bruiser camps. It's the right time for them. So I'm on my way. Just to unlock the ultimate. I took the Metamorphosis, perfect ability for the situation. However, may have bit off a little bit more than I could chew. Jim Raynor shows up there. We effectively split their team in half. Well-placed Starfall zones the enemy team out of this bruiser camp, and there we have 2 bruiser camps now pushing the top lane. If Pierce Shield can just heal them up a little bit with his W on Uther, not to mention secure that Rhaegar kill under the towers, we now have 8 bruiser minions pushing, mercenaries pushing the top lane at the 6.5 minute mark. A very strong play, only made possible by that victory we won at the enemy bruise camp. Got 2 birds with 1 stone there. A super strong push, which just doomed that fort, and a couple kills under the enemy's base. So really super insane strong 5-man push in the top lane. Really can't pull off this kind of coordination if you're not playing with a pre-made team. One of the best things about playing with the squadron is the fact that we know how each other plays so well, and we're able to make plays like this at the 6.5 minute mark. And just an obscene amount of damage. Here I'm calling for retreat. I'm pinging all over the damn place. Get out of there. We just got Void Prison. Zeratul fitting to clean up house here. Pierce Shield just got picked off by yet another very good overpower from the enemy Diablo player. He also had a very nice ultimate back there. However, that is a good opportunity for me to try to pull off a couple kills here. As Uther is now in his spirit form, enemy team Rhaegar tried to distract us to cover the retreat of his team, but not before my Metamorphosis came off cooldown and allowed me to wreak havoc yet again on the enemy team, just barely getting away there. Very, very fun playing Illidan when you have 2 healers. Tyrannus heals, you know, it's not the best, but nothing to wince at either, especially once you start speccing into some of those more support-heavy talents. Oh, such a ballsy play. Wanted to go in there for the Zeratul kill, but deciding to just cover for Captain Shax's retreat instead. I am very low on HP, although I should have First Aid off cooldown if they want to make a move right here. But the safe thing to do is just to pull back and secure our advantage, grab up this shrine, try to get another Dragon Knight. That was a huge victory for the squadron in the top lane. Take a look at our build once again while we have this downtime. We went for the Metamorphosis, and then we went for Giant Killer. Giant Killer is going to allow me to melt down really tanky targets like the Diablo, like the Rhaegar, even the Raynor to an extent. It's hard to get through Raynor's passive when you're just 1v1ing him. So Giant Slayer, or what is it called? It is called Giant Killer, is going to help us with this enemy team comp. Very situational talent. I would say only really take Giant Killer if the enemy team is tanky. Asmodan, one of the tankiest supports. Hell, he's almost a warrior level tank as far as I'm concerned. So much HP on Asmodan. So yeah, Giant Killer, great choice for this enemy team comp. Slipping up there, forgetting to capture these siege giants. Looks like we're going to be able to secure this fort as well with a nice Starfall there. Starfall's so great, doesn't deal a whole lot of damage, but enough to zone the enemy team and make them second guess about fighting under that Starfall. And also combined with the Hyperion there from Jim Raynor, does more of the same, just super strong zoning. So taking a lot of tower damage there. But First Aid in conjunction with my 2 pocket healers, going to be able to heal up from that very quickly. and you can see just how mobile Illidan is at this stage. That Metamorphosis Demon mode allows him to get off his abilities even faster with the increased attack speed. Oh my goodness. In most cases, I mean like 8 out of 10 times, you want to get that Metamorphosis because, you know, the big reason you take the hunt is because of the gap close. It does deal a pretty significant stun, which can be great for CCs on certain targets. But, you know, Metamorphosis gets you halfway there with that gap close. It's a big gap close. But just the stats you get, depending on how many people you open Demon mode on, oh man, you can get so strong. You can even tank in front line for your team, especially when you have 2 healers like this. Very good team comp. Captain Shack in some serious danger there. Getting burned away, doesn't have his passive, so he's going to have to take a step back. Looks like the enemy Zeratul wants to go in for the kill, but not before the Tyrande reveals his position and lines up a nice little focus target for me. However, I hardly escape with my life there, getting focused down by that... wow, what the heck happened to Zeratul? I didn't know when it happened, and I didn't see it right there. But I think he got owled down just a tad. I tried to get him with the Metamorphosis, but I do believe the owl got him there. Anyways, as I was saying, I don't even remember what I was saying. There's so much action in this game. Take a look at this. 2 siege giant camps pushing the bot lane. One of them did go down. Captain Shack making the wise move here and just kind of defending them the best he can. Those siege giants deal a lot of siege damage over time, and he's also effectively split pushing, allowing us to secure the core damage right now with that now deceased Dragon Knight that we recently got. So very one-sided fight here, but some of the better Illidan play I've managed to pull off. I'm definitely better now, but you know, this is kind of my comeback Illidan video I wanted to put out just to show you guys how much I love playing Illidan and, you know, what kind of comps work for Illidan. You really do have to kind of build around him. Using the first aid there, combination with a dive to that minion to kind of get out of this sticky situation, though I'm not quite done yet. I do have a couple coolies left. So I'm double thinking. I'm checking out my options. Can I pick one of these guys off? The smartest thing to do is secure this bruiser camp here with my buddies, but Rhaegar overextends here. He's going to allow me to open up a world of hurt with my giant killer right about now. And he does manage to get that ancestral healing off, but not before I've dealt a devastating amount of damage in conjunction with this Starfall to all 3 of these targets. Deliberate, just able to roam free and take them out one by one. Look at how much damage these auto attacks are dealing, though. You have 2 level advantage on right now, team-wide. So I am, you know, significantly stronger than the enemy team, but really where that damage was coming from was my build in particular. And of course, can't forget to mention the giant killer combined with the Metamorphosis on 3 targets. So if you guys don't know, Metamorphosis stat boosts are going to be increased depending on how many people you get with the initial AoE, you know, the open, the you are not prepared moment. The more people you hit with that, the stronger you're going to be for the duration of your Metamorphosis. So I did go down there. I think that was my first death. Let's take a look-see. No, I've actually died 3 times. I forgot about those early game deaths, but that was the first time I died in a long time. Taking a look at the build really quick here. We did take the stone skin, and I'll break it too. We're going to take the Bolt of the Storm, the Blink, at level 20 as well. So at this point in time, you know, this stage in the game, you're almost level 20. You've got 3 action keys. You've got 1, 2, and 3. The first aid, the stone skin, and the Bolt of the Storm. So you can see what I mean about Illidan being kind of the highest skill cap hero in the game. That really is kind of the go-to build you want to grab for Illidan. And that's 3 bonus, you know, additional abilities that normally you wouldn't have. You know, normally you have 4 or 5 abilities in this game that you have to use. But adding 3 more on top of that, you know, that's a little bit more taxing on your planning and your micro and everything. So I definitely wouldn't recommend playing Illidan for a new player at all. Here, just kind of scouting around. I want to get that shrine before I, you know, commit to this 2v2 with Captain Shack. The shrine is more important at this point in time. You know, they could possibly turn the game around if they manage to get the Dragon Knight right now, but it's doubtful. Just want to make sure we don't lose in front of the live stream. So there is the Metamorphosis on Jim Raynor. That was used primarily as a gap close. If I really wanted to get ham, I would have waited to open with that on more targets, but I really wanted to assassinate the Jim Raynor as soon as possible. So here I'm using my dive and my charge just to body block the Zeratul, try to prevent his escape as best I can, but you know, 1v3, Illidan's pretty strong. I'm a pretty strong Illidan player, but I can't handle the 1v3. Gotta pull back there. Use most of my cooldowns at this point in time. Don't see that Zero tool there, but I should. And that was a classic example. Hesitation. I can guarantee you what happened there was I had my blink off cooldown, but I was trying to remember what key it was. Is it 1? Was it 2? Or was it 3? Turns out it was the 3 key there, and it was just too much dilly-dallying around. I didn't have the reaction time to survive that play, even though I should have. But it's alright, because my team is going to be able to clean this up a little bit. They're not going to give up 2 shrines, even though this Zeratul player is being a little brat and just kind of camping out on these shrines. We can get Rurikon to spin to win for that kill. Pierce Shield looks like he's probably going to survive this one. I don't believe this Rhaegar has spec'd into Feral Lunge, but no, just a little too much damage there. I forgot how much damage Diablo can deal depending on how you build him. Definitely the highest damage tank against at least minion and hero damage. Okay, so where's Illidan Stormrage at this point in time? 5 seconds to resurrect. Captain Shack getting super ballsy right here. He is built to cut through tanks. Shack plays a very high damage Raynor. But he always takes that damn Hyperion. He really loves the Hyperion. If you want to focus down, you know, a character like Diablo, you want more single target damage, you definitely want to go for the Banshees. But I don't disagree with the Hyperion build in this map, because you can use it to very effectively zone the shrines. So here we see, using the stone skin to basically sponge that Azmodan laser damage. Very few heroes can really go toe-to-toe with Azmodan once he's got that laser charged up on you, and Illidan is one of them. You cannot be kited as Illidan Stormrage, and you cannot out-damage him. You could possibly kill him because he's a little squishy, but if you have the stone skin and you time that cooldown properly, that's a bubble shield that's going to soak up the majority of that laser damage before the Azmodan dies. And here the enemy team is just on full retreat, not even really trying to kite and fight, just trying to get away. But they did have a small window of opportunity to grab this Dragon Knight. If I chose to chase that kill instead of grab that shrine, they would have had the D-Knight pretty easily there. Instead, allowing Raynor to get away with his life so that we could prevent that D-Knight capture. So this might be a good opportunity for us to pick off their main tank, grab that Bruiser camp perhaps. Definitely Diablo is doomed there. He just got caught way out of position. So what I'm looking to do is take up this Bruiser camp, maybe get Rurikon to go grab our Bruiser camp. Shack might be able to solo it in time, but then just use these Bruisers to push for the win. Typically your strongest pushes are going to be the Bruisers, unless you got a boss. There is no boss on this map. The boss is the Dragon Knight. Bruisers just sponge so much core damage. They're so tanky, which allows you to get off the damage you need to win the game. So enemy Hyperion now, making us second guess our positioning. I'm calling for retreat. Palitime's not having it, so I'm going to go in real hard on the Zeratul, that ancestral healing, just in time, in a beautiful divine storm from Pierce Shield. Pretty much just won us the team fight right there. However, team very split still. Lots of miscellaneous damage all over the place, even using an offensive blink there to try to burn down this Azmodan before he takes out my supports. Managed to take him out, but not before my supports were doomed. So it's just me and Shack left now, and Spirit Uther, who just cost me a nice holy light. Gonna allow us to take him out. Shack does fall to minion damage right there. Not really much he could have done to avoid that, and I am super low on HP. We still have those Bruisers pushing the top lane, but I can't really make any plays happen here. I can't really damage that core without taking significant splash damage and not enough time to even get through the shield. So I'm going to take this moment to go back, drink at the Moonwell, and grab up another Bruiser camp, because Illidan is just so effective. And if I need the extra healing here, which I probably don't, I can use the first aid and just kind of use that cooldown, try to get it up off cooldown before the next team fight. But for the most part, my auto attack, lifesteal, and my evasion are more than enough to allow me to basically end this camp with the same HP I started with, if not a little bit more. So you can see that Illidan is by no means a tank. He's what most people would consider an off tank, like an evasion tank. I mean, if you ever played World of Warcraft, he's the dodge tank. You know, he's the feral bear. He's able to just eliminate damage altogether for set periods of time. So he excels at poking, you know, kite and fight, coming back and sponging damage and then going in for the kill. That's what he excels at. He doesn't sponge damage necessarily like somebody more like Diablo would do. Yeah, so just another reason why Illidan is a very high skill cap hero. So here, I don't actually know the positioning of the enemy team, but that Void Prison gave it away entirely. I knew to expect this 2v2 right away. I was the only one not caught in that prison. And if I did not pop both my Stone Skin and my First Aid there, I would have been in very serious danger. And that Zeratul actually managed to juke me very, very well, using his Wormhole talent just at the opportune moment when his cloak reinitiated. Totally Juke City'd me right there, and I was actually, I was pretty stunned by that. Definitely props to the Zeratul player there. Nice play. But definitely we forced the retreat there. 2 Hyperions go down. Yamato Cannon at this point in the game deals huge damage to structures, so ours definitely has the advantage with this position, and I am just way, way in the danger zone, able to dive to the enemy Zeratul to get myself out of position. I'm ready to dive for pally time here, believe it or not. I almost just barely didn't get killed by those siege giants, and it looks like we're gonna go down to a sticky bomb there. Did not know that that was gonna happen to my comrades there, but first Dragon Knight that the enemy team has managed to get all game comes at the 20-minute mark, so I'm gonna be forced on defense here. And this game actually just took a turn for the worse. Very intense game. We actually just gave up a lot of ground there, so using my First Aid and Stone Skin to try to distract these players as best as I can, and then using my last additional ability, the Bolt of the Storm, to escape. Basically, bottlenecking the push that they would have otherwise been able to do by distracting 3 out of the 5 players there, leaving only the Dragon Knight to push the mid lane. Basically, as much damage control as I could do without dying. I don't want to die because my team is very dependent on my damage. If you'll notice, if Jim Raynor is down, I'm the very significant, large lump sum of the damage. So there I just got a very beautiful, like the optimal metamorphosis. I landed it on 4 players. So my stats are through the roof. Take a look at how much health I have. More health than Uther right now as Illidan Storm Rage. Even more health than Barbarian while that metamorphosis was up. A lot of people consider Metamorphosis to be one of the most overpowered abilities in the game, because if you do land it on 5 players like that, well, I only landed it on 4, but say you do land it on 5, my goodness, you're so tanky with evasion. And even, you can spec into the level 20 Metamorphosis talent as well, which increases your attack speed a crazy amount, which means your evasion is going to be up like 80% of the time. With that health pool, you're like unkillable. He's one of the few heroes that can like really pentakill people in a traditional way. Yeah, I don't know. I really hope that Blizzard doesn't nerf Illidan, but I definitely feel like he's a bit OP in the current build of the game. I of course would prefer to have a balanced game to play than being able to abuse one of my favorite heroes in the game, their mechanics and such. But man, this game has dragged on way longer than I thought it would. Let's take a look at our damage really quickly. Just, Jesus, a ton of hero damage. Guys like, oh, wow, Abathur, never mind. Let's come back to that thought. We just missed out on a huge initiate over here. So I did get Void Prisoned right there out of my Metamorphosis, and I believe I only landed it on 1 hero. So definitely a lot weaker now than I was in the last fight, but using my coolies, my Stone Skin, and my First Aid there to sponge damage as I dived the core, and now I'm in a super dangerous spot. So what I did there was I bolted the storm, blinked, and then dived the fort. Excuse me, that would be a keep, so that I can just juke all over these guys. Juke, juke, juke right there. Just total gap close. Bolted the storm plus dive, and he just vaults over a giant structure. The keep is the size of a freaking castle. Just dives on the other side of it. Just an obscene amount of distance closed right there. So I did manage to take out the last remaining keep before I fled with full HP, which allows me to get more merc camps, but more importantly, now we have all the siege minions in every lane. We're going to be spawning catapults in every lane, and this is just going to force the enemy team on defense by default. This is kind of the soft timer in Heroes of the Storm. At this point in the game, somebody needs to start losing if you have those catapults in every lane. So that's going to basically give us the advantage. We need to grab up every single mercenary camp as long as we continue to win these team fights. And now it looks like we're going to get a D-Knight as well. Calling out coordination, Captain Shack and I get shrines, while Pure Shield gets the D-Knight. And I'm going to do my best to just kill people before the push for the win right now. And it looks like Raynor just way out of position. He doesn't have any defenses to fall back to, though I do anticipate that Zeratul, I can fight the both of them under these the Knights right there with ease, with the cooldowns I have. And so I actually juked the Zeratul initiate there with my own Metamorphosis, and then I blink out of that hairy situation. I don't want to get caught in a fight that I can't win. Instead, I would prefer to just push down the core and secure the victory for my team. So overall, I would say this is pretty damn good coordination from the squadron. We don't usually play this well. Usually we start out the streams with really strong games like this, and then we just start, you know, kicking ass and then throwing games. So one of the better Illidan matches I've played in a while. I wanted to share it with you guys, show off some Illidan play, talk about the hero a little bit, talk about my build. Let me know if you want to see more of this stuff in the comments below. Don't forget to follow my socials to see when I live stream. I've been live streaming a fair amount, at least twice a week now, you guys. So yeah, it's the best way to follow me is on Twitter or on Facebook. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.